Coach's comments presented by Southside Auto Tech. Cristiano Simonetta with you, joined alongside by Stars head coach Rocky Russo. And Rocky, your group ties the game late, but you fall 3-2 in a shootout against the Sioux Falls Stampede. I talked to you about it in the pregame show, about not taking a team lightly, no matter what their record is. Did you see your team fall into that slump, or what do you think was the reason why your team came out flat to begin?
No, I don't think we took them lightly. I think we played a bad first period. We were slow. We were sloppy. Passing was pretty bad. Decision making in the D zone was just a half second too slow, and we gave one up. Obviously, we find a way to tie it on the power play there with Daltz, and then second period was kind of the same. It was a bad hockey game for 2 periods. Like, shots were 12-11 after 2 periods. Neither team was playing very good hockey. I thought the officiating didn't do us any favors. I don't think they controlled the game very well. Called some pretty meaningless penalties, and then kind of forced themselves onto the action when they didn't need to, and ultimately that led to a pretty slow second period as well.
Did you see some of those instances behind the play where Caden Mbarico would get bumped into? We saw against Fargo last Friday, Eric Bargholtz kind of was jabbing at him on a breakaway. He took a beating tonight, Caden, and you didn't really see the most of a response from your defensemen and the forwards in front of you. Do you see that as a possible concern, or something you don't really look at?
Well, it's the referee's job to protect the goaltender. Because what happens? So the referee doesn't do his job, and then we have to go do his job, and then we end up with guys in the box. We're already shorthanded with bodies, and obviously Caden's a tough kid, and we didn't see anything egregious, but I certainly saw 3 separate occasions where penalties should have been called that were not called, and that's at least 4 times in the last 6 periods where he's been hit and should have been. We should have went on the power play, and the referees just they're not willing to call the hard penalties. They're happy to call the hooks and the holds and the trips and things that don't affect the game. They're not causing turnovers, not causing scoring chances, but when it comes to Marcellus bleeding from the face late in the period, in the third, with Caden getting hit with, what should have been a 5-minute major, but instead it's a 2 and 10 that gets evened up. Like, to me, that's the safety issue and a big time failure from the officiating perspective.
Yeah, that was tough to watch Laba, just finish his check at the end of a whistle and end up with you guys not having a power play after Mastromenico was hit. But let's continue the conversation about Caden Mbarico, a guy who battled throughout this entire game. He makes, one of the best saves you'll see all season long with that glove stop on Fleming. He gets called upon late in the third period when LeMay turns over the puck. He's that guy that, again, you have Cameron Whitehead waiting in the woodwork. He was injured tonight, not able to dress. But when you suit up number 30, he performs like that, and he honestly should have been able to get 2 points out of that effort.
Yeah, the one late in the period was tough. Joe made the right play, and it actually hit somebody's it hit somebody's skate, and it ended up right on their guy's tape. But it's a big save by Caden, and Caden's obviously a special goaltender. We know that. He gives us a chance to win just about every night that he's in the net, and he did that tonight. I mean, we had a couple chances to score. Keaton had a point-blank one early on in the first period that he could have buried. I think that's just a little bit of nerves out of the young man, because he's definitely a goal scorer that you're going to see pot a lot of pucks in his Lincoln Star career. But, Caden played great, and obviously the shootout is a skills competition. And in the first one, Marcy has him beat, and the puck just rolls off his stick. The second one, Wallen had him beat, and the kid ends up making a lucky save with the heel of his skate. So just one of those things that wasn't meant to be tonight, but we need to control the controllables, and I think we got away from that a little bit, and it started with a slow start, and it took us 2 periods to really start to play our game.
And even strength scoring is becoming a concern for you guys. It has been all year long. You get bailed out by the power play, but that's not something you want to depend on late in the third.
No, it's not, and I'm a little frustrated with our forwards, quite frankly. That's nothing new. But again, when we do play the right way, and you saw it in the third period, when we play the right way, we generate those chances. And if you're willing to play that way for 60 minutes, we're going to score 5-on-5 goals. That's the reality of it. It's our willingness to play our brand of hockey all game long and not decide, we're down by a goal in the third, I guess we'll do what coach wants us to do now. No, if we do it the right way all the time, they're going to get so many more scoring chances, and that's the challenge of coaching kids. And they know that what we're teaching them works because they've seen the results come from it. But it's a matter of their willingness to have good habits all the time and not sometimes.
And now you're on an 0-1-1 skid. It's hilarious to even call that a skid, but it's because of how good you guys have played in the first 14 games of the year. The response you see tomorrow night against Omaha, what do you think that'll be with so much emotion tied up in that rivalry that spanned over the last 2+ decades?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we played a bad game for over 2 periods tonight, and we left with a point. We find a way to win a game tomorrow, and we get 3 out of 4 on a 2-game road weekend with 5 home games coming up. I'd be pretty pleased with that situation. So, the Omaha thing, I know everybody wants me to be all riled up about Omaha. I really don't care about the rivalry. Maybe I will when we get into it a little bit, but I want to beat the teams that win championships, and it's been a long time since Omaha's won a championship. So, no disrespect to them. They're definitely a worthy opponent, and we're gonna be prepared and not take them lightly. But the whole rah stuff on the rivalry just doesn't kind of set in with me just yet.
If they were wearing blue and yellow, I think you'd have a little bit of a different opinion if they were in Michigan. But Omaha not getting there for you just yet?
I don't even say that word. I don't even say that word. No, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I know our fans are excited about it, and to me, it's my job to prepare our team to try to win all 62 games. And so, what I'm saying here is not that I'm devaluing it, but I'm not raising the level of urgency against them versus any other opponent. Is my point. I know they're an hour down the road, and I know there's a natural rivalry there, and I respect that, but Kearney, Nebraska is not that far, and Tri-City is a model organization, and if we're striving to be somebody that's had long-term success, it probably should be the Tri-City Storm and not the Omaha Lancers. And obviously, 20 years ago, sure. 15 years ago, sure. That was a stalwart program in this USHL league, but things have changed. Tri-City has ebbed and flowed and become that ebb. Same thing with Fargo. Like, those are the teams you want to beat right now. But I want to beat Omaha just as badly as I want to beat everybody else. And I have a healthy respect for all our opponents on our schedule. And Omaha is certainly a valid program and somebody that we're going to have to be prepared to play a great game against tomorrow to get 2 points. And then you add in the drama of everything's going on there and the emotion of them playing their first game since this has all happened. I have no idea how they're going to respond to that situation. New coach, a lot of distraction over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to come out like shot out of a cannon for the first period, and then we'll see if they can sustain that. But our job is to just go in there and focus and play our game.